Hi, we are going to talk today about backbends for beginning baby boomers. So that would be someone who is in the baby boomer category and has not done yoga before. And again, someone asked me to do this. I think it's a great idea because I think we can start moving at any age. And backbending is incredibly important, and the only place we really backbend in life is yoga. It's really quite amazing. So if we think about it, we don't bend backward to pick things up. We're more likely to do this or to, reach for a glass, which is a twist, forward bend twist, even maybe switch over to the side, but we don't bend back. So unlike our cats that are so flexible, do you do back bends? They do. So I'm going to talk very briefly about backbending. I want to show you a little bit of what a backbend can look like in someone that's quite flexible. And as we get older, we lose that. And that's why it's all the more important to do that. So here are some pictures of backbend. Notice in that picture on the belly that the chest is very high, and it looks like approximately, a 90-degree angle there. And there's another one at the bottom, camel pose. The chest is up towards the ceiling. The shoulders are off the back in that child's pose. Those are all pictures of me in 1990 in Strength and Serenity, my first video. My body does not do that anymore. And yet it's really important that we extend the spine. So rather than thinking of how much you can bend backwards, think of it as spinal extension. So before we start, just one more thing. Why is that so important? Again, I've already said, as we get older, things change in our body, particularly the bones. As people get into their older years, you often hear people, not necessarily 80s or 90s, it could be in their 50s or 60s, they can fracture a bone. And sometimes it's a fall, sometimes it's coming in and out of a pose too aggressively. So let's go ahead and look at some back bends here. The first one, we're going to come onto our belly because that's a really good starting point for a lot of people. Might be where they end up doing their back bends, but I'd like to show a little bit more than that in this clip. So the first one, you're going to start on your belly, and this is called crocodile. You're going to have your forehead on your hands, which are stacked on top of each other. And if you can go a little deeper than that, you'll come up onto your chin. Now, for some people, this doesn't seem like much of anything, but for other people, it's actually a lot. The next step would be to come up on your elbows and hold your face. That is crocodile. The next level would be Sphinx, where we bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. This is a really common back bend and really doable for many people. The thing that's nice about this back bend is also you are not at risk of bringing your shoulders up towards your ears, which you'll see on the next one. People often do on this next one. And that just is not good for your shoulders and tightens the neck. So it really reduces the range of motion in your neck. So we're going to inhale, we're going to exhale, come down. Whenever you hold these, you're breathing through the nose. I'm going to show a cobra with my hands holding my mat, and I'll give you an option if you don't have a mat. This is nice to have the mat because I can come up and deliberately press my shoulders down. Another way to do this cobra is with my hands out in front and just spread my fingers and come up into cobra. If you feel your lower back pinching, come back down into Sphinx. And again, be very mindful. I'm going to show you the full cobra now. Be very mindful not to do this. This is what you see a lot of people doing. And this, oops, my hips are off the floor. No, hips ground you down in this pose and shoulders stay down. So now I can move my neck. I cannot drop my head back all that comfortably, so I'm just going to keep it where it is comfortable. And this is really strengthening the spine. I'm breathing into it. Now we're going to inhale, we're going to exhale, come down. After doing back bend, a lot of times we feel that we want to stretch the other way. And the simplest thing to do would be to come into a nice, simple child's pose. We'll do that for a moment. And then I want to show you two more things. If you want to get a little deeper into your back bends, This is a wheel. It's called a Dharma wheel, Dharma. She's one of my teachers for a long time, who I'm currently still studying with, been with since 1999. Love his teaching. And so I've watched my teachers like myself over the years, their bodies change, and yet they can still do pretty remarkable things. And this person is in his mid-80s. So here you trust the wheel. Now, I don't have much curve in my spine in back bending. And so what this does is it gives me support to release as much as I can. Now, if I were really warmed up on a day that I'm really warmed up, I might be able to get my head here onto the wheel, but it doesn't happen right away. And again, that's not my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to see how much I can open up. And now if I lift up my hips, oh my goodness, this feels so amazing on my upper back. You can roll the wheel so you get this back bend anywhere you want on the spine, as our back bends actually start in having our hips open. So the deal here, as I've said, is to really get that spine to extend. So I might extend my arms, right? And a lot of people that are new to yoga, because that's what this is for, baby boomer beginners, I don't edit. That's a lot to go on the wheel. However, perfectly safe because you have support. Support really makes a huge difference. So you can only get as far as you'll get with that support. Let's say you don't have a wheel at home, but you do have a chair. It doesn't have to be a yoga chair. So when I practice here at the Soul House in Maine, our retreat, we have plenty of yoga chairs. But here in New York City, where I'm shooting this, where I am currently in the winters, I don't have that. So let me show you this. You can also do this on your bed, or you could do it on maybe your sofa. Your sofa, like my sofa, doesn't have arms on the end, but I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you this. So I'm going to come here. What's important here is that I slide my buttocks off the chair. Otherwise, I'm not going to get the back bend correctly. I want to slide my buttocks off the chair, find my upper back right between my shoulder blades. Now, this chair, when I'm in it, I always feel like maybe I'm not perfectly square right on the chair, but I'm getting plenty of an appropriate stretch. And here I am. And then some days, not today, I'm not going to change it. I actually hold on to my sofa, which is there. Sometimes it's good to have something to hold on to, right? You can do whatever you want with your arms here. And I'm right between my shoulder blades. It is remarkable. Now, your legs can be bent or straight. And to come out of it, you want to bend your knees. You want to get your buttocks back on the chair. I would recommend tucking your chin in and really using your arm to lift you up. Because if you haven't been doing yoga very much, chances are your belly is not the strongest part of your body. And it is really good to work on a little bit of navel strengthening too, so that supports your back bends. So I'm going to give this a very small forward bend after that. You can also twist in the chair when you come up, have a minor little twist, something to unravel the spine safely. And then we'll conclude this little section with a little belly strengthener, which you could have done earlier, but let's conclude with that because we're right here for this. You're going to come onto your sit bones. You're going to take your feet off the floor. You're going to keep your knees bent. Now, I've worked with people that are not even baby boomers. They're younger than baby boomers, maybe in their 40s. And this is really challenging for them. So if you don't work your abdominals, if you're not someone who exercises, this is where you'll stay. You're going to hold onto the legs. That if you can release the arms, then your belly will work a little more. If you can bring your arms up, your belly will work a little more. Notice I'm trying to keep my back straight, belly strong. I breathe through the nose throughout. And now we're going to bring the feet down. And even if we don't open up like those little photos, I just thought it was fun because I found that old video from 1990 and it's kind of interesting looking back and saying, oh, I could do that then. And that was a different time in my life. And I'm still doing yoga and I'm feeling stretched out and strong and I have good energy. And it helps me through physical, mental, and emotional changes and challenges that come up anytime in life. There may be different ones, but they're always coming up. So this is a great tool. And don't forget your back bends. They open up the heart, which is said to give us courage. That Latin word for heart is core. And so opening up our heart, we've done the forward bends, we've done the back bends. We'll move on to twists and inversions and more for beginner baby boomers. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize for tripping over my words a little bit, but this is really a live broadcast to you, and we don't do any editing. It's very simple. So as we say at Soul House, simplicity in a complex world. Have a great day, and I hope these help you and that you'll continue to backbend. Really important to keep strengthening that spine in our baby boomer years and more. Thank you.